So Faizan, before you
Yes.
start,
Yes.
one more thing. I have prepared a PowerPoint and also the hands-on active. I mean, the examples that I'm going to cover will take
Okay.
almost 30 minutes altogether. Will that
Yeah.
be okay?
Yes. 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 Perfect. That is perfect.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we are live on Zoom. I am going to start this one. Okay. Let's just double check if everything is good. Yes, it seems perfect. All right. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whatever time zone you are in. My name is Faizan Ali, Assistant Professor and Graduate Program Coordinator at College of Hospitality and Tourism Leadership, University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee. This morning here, because I'm in the US, it's morning, it's almost 8 a.m. I'm thankful to everybody who is going to join in the webinar, because on the Facebook, we saw that quite a lot of people were interested in this. Before doing that, I would say that if you haven't done it yet, and if you are just watching this webinar, please subscribe to the channel so that you can get a notification. Today's webinar is about qualitative analysis. We'll be talking about some interesting tools related to qualitative analysis using a software called Atlas.ti8. Going further, I am involved in research, publications, research methodology and stuff with different journals, with different organizations. And the idea of this channel was also to spread out knowledge to people who do not have access to many amazing scholars or many amazing things that are happening around the world. A little bit about the YouTube channel. It's called Research Beast. There's a QR code on the screen. So if you scan it, it would take you to the home page of the YouTube channel, and where you can subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also click on the bell icon. That way, anytime when I upload a new video, you will get a notification for that one. This is how the channel homepage looks like. So if you get on the channel, this is how it would look like. So far, I have 16 videos. More than 2,200 subscribers, 30,000 plus views. And some of the videos that I've uploaded are related to these things. So talked about case studies, moderated and mediated, moderated mediation, mediated moderation, fuzzy set qualitative comparative analysis, PLS related videos, some other quantitative research, qualitative research, how to do literature review, how to publish and stuff like this. And in this line today, I have an amazing speaker, Dr. Majid Qasimi. He is from Iran originally, but now he is in Malaysia right now. He is a senior lecturer at National Higher Education Research Institute at University of Science Malaysia, which is one of the best universities in Malaysia. He is also a certified Atlas.ti professional senior trainer, and I've seen him doing amazing stuff. I'm following him on Facebook. He has published and reviewed extensively with a lot of journals. His research areas are related to education and higher education, leadership and stuff like this. And I'm sure Dr. Majid will talk about this later on. He is also a guest editor for Journal of Higher Education Policy and Management, and also an associate editor for Sage Open, to which I really admire him because I'm a big proponent of open access publications and open access research. Dr. Majid is actively involved in data analysis training activities. As I said, he routinely designs and delivers qualitative and quantitative data analysis workshops with Smart PLS, Atlas.ti, and EQS. And I have heard positive feedback about Dr. Majid, and that is why I invited him today to be our speaker and talk about Atlas.ti. We are planning to keep this webinar short, like half an hour to 40 minutes. So the questions, I would highly encourage you to put your questions either on the Facebook feed or on the YouTube feed, so that once it ends, then we can ask Dr. Majid about the questions that are posted on YouTube. So Dr. Majid, thank you again for accepting the invitation to talk today. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Faizan. I really appreciate that you invited me for this webinar, and I'm very excited. I'm also following you in the Facebook and also in YouTube, and I am also, in fact, one of the fans of your YouTube channel. That's an amazing one. I really appreciate you for that, and I hope many junior researchers subscribe to that channel and just try to learn as much as possible. Thank
Thank
you
you
so much.
very much. I'm grateful. Thank you.
So, shall we start, Mr.
Yes. Yes.
Faizan?
Dear Majid, share your screen for your PPT slides and then you can start. Yes, sure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today we will be talking about thematic analysis using Atlas TI. As you know, Atlas TI is one of the widely used software packages that enables qualitative researchers to conduct meaningful and systematic research. Uh, Actually, I have prepared a presentation for almost 20 minutes. I will present that. This is how we proceed. And then I will do some demonstrations of some features related to thematic analysis. And then we will also focus on some more advanced features related to thematic analysis, mainly comparison analysis and also relationship analysis. So we start with thematic analysis. By the way, thematic analysis, as you can see in this slide, is a flexible, easy, quick, and widely used method. By the way, it focuses on identifying, analyzing, and reporting patterns within the data. There is a very good journal article published in 2006, and the title is Using Thematic Analysis in Psychology. And this amazing paper focuses on advantages of thematic analysis, and also it provides a checklist for conducting a proper thematic analysis. So I really invite you guys to have a look at the paper and just read that amazing piece of work. Now, thematic analysis, as you can see in this slide, has 6 phases. It starts with familiarizing yourself with your data, generating initial code, searching for themes, reviewing your themes, then defining and naming the themes, and finally producing a report. So if we want to translate these phases into a process that can be implemented in Atlas TI, we will have this process here in this slide. So the process of thematic analysis in Atlas TI involves 5 steps here. It starts with organizing and preparing your documents, because by the way, you need to get familiar with your data. Then you have to identify the important segments of the data in all of your documents. You have to read the documents, by the way, you have to listen to them, you have to watch them, whatever document that you have, by the way, you need to explore it to come up with the quotations and also the code. I will explain to you in the next slide what the codes and quotations are, but just make it very simple. Quotations are actually the important segments of the data. So if you have one page of document, maybe just there is only one paragraph that is very important and is related to your research. So that paragraph will become a quotation. So when we talk about quotation, basically we are talking about important data elements. Then after you create these quotations, you will be able to assign a label to these quotations. That label is called code in qualitative research terms. So by the way, we need to manage these quotations, and then we have to assign some identifying labels to these quotations so that they can become more analyzable in our data, in our analysis. And then after you assign these labels, we need to come up with the themes, with the patterns within the data. And basically it is done by grouping relevant codes to each other to create code groups or themes. So after you find the themes within your data, then you will be able actually to add to answer the research question in your research context. And the important thing in using the most important maybe advantages of using the software is that you can visualize all of your research findings. So whatever quotations or codes or things that you have identified within your data, you will be able to use networks, which is one of the important and amazing features of SSTI, and then visualize your findings. Because, by the way, qualitative data is just text, videos, and audios. And when you want to present it to people, it means that you want them to read a lot of documents or watch a lot of videos or audios. But if you manage to summarize everything into a figure or a network, then it becomes even more interesting. It really makes a very important, a huge actually value. So this is the process that how we're going to do thematic analysis in Atlas TI. All right, we talked about documents. There are a few issues here that I just need to address. By the way, as you can see here, qualitative data, when it comes to qualitative data, you will face different types, different data types: books, articles, music, interview, surveys, pictures, maps, social media. All of these are actually qualitative data that can be analyzed using any software, qualitative data analysis software package. One of the most important things when it comes to documents is that you will be able to organize your documents by grouping them, and this is one of the very important and essential steps because it refers actually to data organization. And as long as you don't have your data well organized, you will not be able to proceed effectively and efficiently. By the way, in Atlas TI, documents are displayed with this icon, and also document groups, when you group them to each other, are displayed using this icon. So I would like to ask you to just try to to keep these icons in your mind, because when we are doing some examples, I think it will be more understandable for you. And the other important issue is that when you import any documents into your data, into your project in Atlas TI, the documents will be coded with D1, D2, D3, etc. So each document will have one number starting with D, D1, D2, D3, and so on. Here you can see some information about quotations in Atlas TI. As I just mentioned, important segments of the document is called a quotation. So you can create quotations within different types of documents. Look at this example. For example, look at this example. Here we have a piece of an article, and as you can see, there is one paragraph here that is important for us. So we have highlighted this, and it has become a quotation for us. If you look at this example here, you can see that Atlas TI can help you to create a quotation within a picture. And also in this example, you will see that you can simply create a quotation within video data. And by the way, if you don't use software, no matter what type of software, what software you are interested in, you will not be able to create quotations in audio or video data, because actually you are doing this manually. So one of the advantages of any software package is that it enables you to create quotations within some data types that actually by hand you cannot do that. Another important thing is that, by the way, when you create any quotation in your project, the quotation is labeled with A:B. A refers to the document number, and B refers to the number of the quotation in that particular document. So remember, documents are displayed with D1, D2, D3, etc. Quotations are displayed, for example, like this: 3:18, which means quotation number 18 in document 3. And another important thing is that quotations are displayed using these circle icons. So This icon refers to a video quotation. This one refers to a textual quotation. This one is refers to a quotation that has been created in an image document, and this is an quotation that has been created in a Google Map document, and this is an audio quotation. So these are the icons that again are important for us to remember. And then the next step, as you can remember in that diagram, the process of thematic analysis in Atlas TI is creating codes. And I told you codes are just labels that we assign to the quotations. And by the way, in terms of code management, Atlas TI is a very powerful software. As you can see here, you can define them, rename them, delete them, duplicate them, merge them, split them. You will see a lot of features here. Of course, we are not focusing on these features, but I'm just telling you that you will have a lot of possibilities dealing with codes in Atlas TI. And on the right hand side, you will see some common forms of creating codes in Atlas TI. Some of them are automatic coding, and some of them are actually manual coding. And I will demonstrate a few of them for you today. And the last thing is that this is the icon for a code in Atlas TI. So it's a diamond. And when it comes to code groups, it will become like this icon. And one more thing, if you want to relate quantitative and qualitative research to each other, you can somehow say that codes are like the variables in your research. So when it comes to networks, and I will draw some networks for you, maybe you can understand this easier. And in this slide, you can see the general format for a code. Again, remember for documents, we had D1, D2, D3, etc. For quotations, we had another format, and this is the format for code. So T here refers to the code. It could be anything. A refers to the groundedness, which means that groundedness here means that how many quotations in a project, in an Atlas TI project, has been labeled with this particular code. And density is B here. Density means this particular code to how many codes this particular code is linked. So for each code, we have two values. One is the groundedness, which means how many quotations are connected to this code, and how many other codes are connected to this code, which is the density. All right. The last the last step in that particular thematic analysis process is creating networks. Again, networks are just visualization of our findings. And by the way, we have two types of networks. We have named linkages or semantic networks, and we have unnamed linkages or second order networks. And I will show you in the next slides what are they. And this is the icon of a network. If you have a network, you can, it is displayed using this icon. And if you group them, you can have this icon for network groups. So networks, codes, documents can be grouped, or you can deal with them separately. But quotations cannot be grouped. This is another important issue that you may want to remember for when it comes to doing some hands-on activities here, some demonstrations, I mean. All right, now let's have a look at a few networks here. As you can remember, there are 4 quotations here. They are quotations. Why? Because this circle is indicating that this is a quotation within a textual document. And in this network, as you can see, there are these linkages are named. So you can see that this quotation, which is quotation 142 in document 2, explaining quotation 139 in document 2. Again, this quotation is justifying in this quotation. So you can see that using the networks, when you identify the quotations, the important data segments, I mean, you can simply connect them and define the relationship between these quotations. There are a lot of predefined relation types, and you can simply select them. So this is how we uh, work with our data in our project at data level. At data level means that you're working with a quotation, and this is a named network or a semantic linkage because the relationships they have names here, and you can simply see how they are related to each other. This is another example, and as you can see here, we have a few codes linked to each other. Why they are codes? Because, by the way, these icon indicates that these are all codes. And as you can see, there is one central code here, and all of these other codes are a part of this code. Again, when it comes to code-code relationships, we have semantic or named networks. And you can simply define how these codes are related to each other. This is another example, and as you can see, these red dotted lines are not named. By the way, they are just membership linkages or membership relationships. And as you can see here, we have this icon here, which means that it is a code group or a theme. And this theme, the central theme, has 5 codes under it. So these 5 codes, in fact, have created this theme for us. And again, this is a unnamed network. Why? Because you can see that it's just a simple membership linkage between each code and the code group or the theme here. And this is, I think, a more comprehensive example, because here I forgot to tell you that, by the way, when we are working with, let me go to this slide. When we are working with codes, in fact, we are working at theoretical level, a higher level. So working with quotations means that we are working at a lower level, which is the raw data level. When we are working with code, it means that we are working at a theoretical level. Now here, if you look at this, you will see that, by the way, we are integrating data and theoretical level to each other. Why? Because we have a network here, we have a central code, a few codes are connected to this, and the relationship is very clear how they are connected to each other. And at the same time, for one of these codes, which is recognition, image, and rank, we have provided some quotations as examples. So in this project, what this means is that this code has been used to code these quotations here. So you can see that using Atlas TI, you can integrate working with data at theoretical level and also at data level. And the last thing here in my presentation is that, by the way, you can create very interesting reports using Atlas TI. You can simply export them into your thesis or into your paper, or if you want, you can convert them to PDF files. By the way, Atlas TI gives you this possibility that you just save the report in Word format or in PDF format. So there are a lot of possibilities here, and we will explore them very quickly soon. And all right, whatever I told you, I will demonstrate, and at the end, I will demonstrate all of them using this mini project. And this mini project is very simple. If you look at this, you will see that, by the way, we have one central code here with 3 dimensions, another central code here with other 3 dimensions. And this code is somehow influencing the other code. It's like a simple regression analysis if you just compare it with a model in quantitative data analysis. So I will summarize everything using this example at the end. Thank you very much. It was the presentation so far. So if I don't know, Faizan. If there are questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, I can continue with demonstration of these features.
Please continue, Majid. Let's keep the questions till the end, please.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much. All right. So this is the icon of the software, and when you click this in this icon, by the way, this window will open on the screen, and here you will see that, by the way, you have the projects that already been created in your Atlas CI, and also they have been listed here. We want to create a new project here, so we just click on create new project, and we just need to give it a name. So we just call it, we just give this name to it, webinar project. So just click on create, and the project will be created for us. Then after the project is created, I will show you different different parts of the. We will just explore the software maybe for 1 minute, and then we will continue with importing the documents, and then trying to do some thematic analysis. All right, this is the main window of the software. As you can see, there are 3 main sections here. One of them is on this left-hand side of the screen, which is the Explore section. And here, whatever documents you add to your project, the codes that you create, the memos, we are not talking about the memos for today, not because they are difficult, just because we want to make it simple and to finish everything in 30 to 40 minutes. And also you have document groups, code groups, memo groups, network groups. And so, by the way, you can explore whatever you have in your project. Also, you have a ribbon here. We have 5 tabs: home or search project, analyze, import, export, and tool support. Almost whatever you need to manage and organize your data and to do a standard thematic analysis is placed in home ribbon. So, by the way, we will be mainly here using the features here. In case that you want to search for anything in your project, you can go to search project tab. Later on, when we conducted the thematic analysis, we will come here and we will explore code document table. That is a very amazing feature of comparison analysis in Atlas CI. And also we will talk about code co-occurrence table. That is another amazing feature of Atlas CI that enables you to do some relationship analysis. So we will explore these 2 advanced features of the software. Here also we have import export section, import and export tab. You can see that, by the way, you can import data from different softwares, and also you can export data from Atlas CI to some other software packages. And for example, you can simply import tweets, retweets, and images from Twitter and import them into Atlas CI. And the good thing is that anything that you import from Twitter are automatically coded. So it really saves your time. If you want to do a systematic literature review, you can just import your papers from your reference manager using this feature and import your articles into Atlas CI, and then try to do some content and thematic analysis and do a systematic literature review. If you have surveys with closed-ended and open-ended questions, you can import them into Atlas CI. All of the data can be imported, and you can look at your survey information, the data in your survey, from a qualitative perspective. And also, if you want to export your codes and quotations, some frequency numbers into SPSS, for example, you can select this option. And the last tab here is just tools and support here. I think the most important one is the useful links here. There are a lot of material here for you to learn. If you want to learn Atlas CI, there are YouTube, videos in YouTube. You can have access to the manual of the software and all of this stuff. Now, We have created the document, we have created the project. What we need to do is to add some documents into this project to analyze them, to do some, and in fact, to do some thematic analysis. So to add the documents, I just click on add documents and click on add files. And then I will locate my files. The files are here. As you can see, I have 2 PDF files. I have 2 images. I have 1 video. I have 1 audio file. And I have 2 Microsoft Word documents. Remember, you can import anything here. Even the X-ray of it, chest X-ray, you can import it here. Electricity bills, water bills, whatever data that you have, you can simply import it into Atlas DI. So I just focus on PDF, image, audio, video, and Microsoft Word documents. So I just select them and import them in one shot into my Atlas DI. Okay, it's done. Now you can see that here we have the value 8, which means that we have imported 8 documents into our project. If I click on this triangle, you will see we have D1, which means document 1, document 2, D3, D4, etc., until D8. So all of the documents have been imported here. If I click on any of these documents, they will be opened in this area, and you can explore, you can read it, and you can start analyzing the data. Just a reminder here, my friends, doing thematic analysis means that you have to do data organization and management, followed by creating quotations. Creating quotations means that you have to read everything, and we don't have time here to read. So whatever I'm doing in this webinar is just to show you the technical aspects of the job. So I don't read anything. So if I just create a quotation and just code it with some codes, it doesn't necessarily mean that those codes are suitable codes for that quotation. So we just focus on technical aspects of thematic analysis here, just to save the time. Because if we want to do a real thematic analysis, any quotation that I want to create, I have to read it first, which really takes time, and we cannot actually finish this in this webinar. All right, so this is a PDF file, and this is an image. You can see that this is an image. I have a video here, and this is one of the amazing videos I have seen on YouTube, by the way. And I have an audio file. This audio file is just the music, but you can look at this music as a kind of an recording of an interview session. And we have 2 documents, Microsoft documents, words here, and simply you can see everything. So whatever you select is opened here. Now let's do some data organization, do some data organization, because I told you the first step is to manage and organize the data. So to do this, what I can do is to go to this manager section and just select the document. And here I have all of my 8 documents. Now I want to organize these documents based on document type. So I just select documents D1 and D2 because they are PDF files. Just drag and drop them here in the documents group area. And by default, a name is created. I don't want that. I just change the name to PDF file. All right, I have 2 images. Just very quickly, image files. This is how we do some data organization here. For video files, I only have 1, so I just drag and drop it here, video file. Audio, I also have 1. And for Microsoft Word documents, I have 2. So MS Word documents, I have 2. Now, if I click on any of these groups, you will see the members of these groups here. And if I click on this area here, I will see all of these documents here. Now, I can organize these documents in different ways. Let's assume that document 1, 3, 5, and 7 are the documents are contain the data that I collected from female in my study. So I can group them. Document 1, document 3, document 5, and document 7. They contain the data I collected from female. And document 2, 4, 6, and 8 are documents that contain the data I collected from male. Why I do this? Because later, if I want to make any comparison between male and female, between male and female, I can simply use these two groups and do a group comparison. So here you will see that this grouping feature of HSDI is very important. You can group them based on many factors. For example, maybe you have collected data, document 1 to document 5 from one side, and document 6, 7, 8 contain the data you collected from another side. So you can just group them and just do this data organization thing. Now we're done with data organization. So what I want you to know also is that a document can be a member of many groups. That is the key advantage of using a software, because if you want to do this manually, it means that you have to create a lot of copies of your documents and put them in different boxes, and certainly you will make a lot of errors and mistakes. By the way, the next step after data organization was creating quotations. Now let's try creating a few quotations within different types of data. I just start with the PDF file. Just close this window here. And remember, my friends, the best practice to create quotations is to create them and immediately quote them. Remember, we had the first step, documents, quotations, and quotes, and then teams and networks. If you create quotations and then quote them simultaneously, it will be much better. It will be more, much easier, and the probability that you make mistakes and errors will be lower. So I will combine step 2 and step 3. Immediately when I create any quotations, I will quote that so that we can also save some time. But by the way, this is the best practice, creating quotations and quote them immediately. All right. Now let's explore this document. It's one of the amazing documents I've ever seen so far, by the way. All right. Let's assume that I have read this paragraph, and this paragraph is very important for me. So I want to create a quotation and code it. So I just drag and drop my mouse here, and then you will see that this area has been selected. And this is an important segment in this article. And mainly, let's assume that it is talking about leadership. So I just right click here and I go to open coding. If I click open coding, a window appears here, and I can just create any codes, any number of the codes that I want. For example, this particular paragraph is maybe about leadership, maybe it is about effectiveness, and also maybe it's about management. If I click create, you will see that these 3 codes have been created and have been linked with this quotation. So I just continue exploring this article here. You will see that mainly it should be about emotional intelligence. So I just select this paragraph. It is a quotation for me because it is an important data segment. I right click again here and I click open coding, and I just create a few other codes and assign them automatically to these quotations. So emotional intelligence, maybe also this quotation is about let's say vision. Maybe it is about emotions. Maybe it's about moods. So I just click on create, and you will see that all of them have been created here. So this is what we call open coding. So a window pops up on the screen and you can just create the code here. The interesting thing is that everything is integrated. Look at here. We had this document one, and we are working we are working on document one, and now you can see this triangle here. If I click here, you will see that, by the way, I have created two quotations here, and you can see them. We have already created two quotations, right? This is the first one, and this is the second one. And if again I click on this triangle, you will see all of the codes that have been assigned to this quotation. So to me, it really is a magic, because it really prevents you from making any mistakes. The moment that you create anything, they are linked to each other, and yeah, it's an amazing feature, by the way. Also, if I click on any of these quotations, you know, in the document, I can simply switch between them. See, I can simply go to different quotations. And again, if you look at here, I will have 1:1, which means quotation 1 in document 1, and this is quotation 2 in document 1. These are the numbers that I told you previously. Now, let's just create another quotation here. All right. This is an important paragraph for me, and for me, actually, this is a quotation. Another way of creating, coding this quotation with a code is that you just go to your code list here. The code that I have created are also listed here, and drag and drop any of these codes and this quotation, and it will be assigned to this quotation immediately. So let's say that this self-awareness can be coded with emotion, and then you will see that, wow, the quotation has been created and it has been linked with this code here. I can drag and drop another one here. I can drag and drop another one. So this is drag and drop coding here. And let's just explore a bit more here. Let's say that this quotation, this paragraph from here to here is about, I just select open coding, is about, let's not do open coding. Let's do another feature, and use another feature. Let's try list coding. What is list coding? If I click on list coding, you will see that the list of the quotations that have, the list of the codes that have been already created in the project are listed here. I can select any of them and just click OK, and they will be assigned to this quotation. So this is another way of coding. So far we have explored open coding, list coding, and now quick coding. What is quick coding? Let me just do quick coding for this one, for this paragraph, for that, again, to me is the quotation. If I right click here and select quick coding, all the codes that have been used previously, I mean the very last one, are automatically assigned to the newly created quotation. So you can see that these are the 4s that have been used here, and exactly they have been applied to these quotations. So quick coding means that the last code or codes that have been used are assigned to the newly created quotation. All right, let's just go to another type of document. I just close everything. Everything is saved here. So far we have created 5 quotations here, and we have 7 codes in our document. Let's go to the image file. Okay, I want to create a quotation in this image file. It's very simple. Again, what I can do is that I just drag and drop my mouse here, select the area that is important for me. Again, right click, I have plenty of options. Open coding, if I want to create a new code, I just click open coding and then just type it here, communication. If I want, I can select this area, for example, and use list coding, maybe effectiveness and leadership. And here maybe I want, okay, if I click quick code. If I click quick coding, certainly this new quotation will be coded with effectiveness and leadership. So I'll do it again as an example. So this is how we create quotations in image documents. Let's go to a video document. And this is a talk by Professor Carter about resistance to change and how we can deal with that. We don't want to listen to it, but it's just I just play it.
I'll skip for you, and then I'll back up and explain why it's important.
All right. So from this moment, I think he is going to share some important things with us. So I just click on this pause button and click on mark position. And then I continue listening.
Process, you will always find around some people who basically always say, no, no. And they really strongly mean that. These are the guys that resist to the death.
So far, I think it has been talking about something very important. If I click on create quotation here, you will see that whatever I selected with this mark position up to here is created as a quotation here. So what I need to do is to just click on this quotation and assign a few quotes to it. If I want, maybe this is about resistance to change. Maybe it's about change in general. Maybe it's about transformation. So I just assign these quotes to this quotation. Now, I don't want to listen to it right now. If there is another way of creating quotations within the video document, and it's just by dragging and clicking, dragging and dropping. So let's assume that from here to here is an important segment. So I just drag and drop, and then you will see that the quotation is created automatically. What I need to do is to immediately code it with something. So I just use list coding and select these codes here. If I want, I can select codes from this area, drag and drop it here. So you can use actually a combination methods of creating codes here. So this is how we create codes and quotations in video documents. And the last one is a Word document. It's very similar to actually a PDF file. So again, if anything that you have that is important, you just select, drag, and you just select it. And you have all of these features, open coding and vivo coding. I don't talk about in vivo coding here. This coding, quick coding, if you want, you can do drag and drop coding here, for example. So working with PDF files and Microsoft Word documents are actually very similar. Now that we have created some Word and documents, quotations, codes, and everything, let's go to the next step, which is creating themes. So I just close all of these. To create a theme, I just need to click on this code button, and you will see all of the codes that I have been created here are listed. So remember, I told you that for each code, we have the groundedness and the density values. So the groundedness means that how many quotations are linked to this code, and density means that how many codes are linked to this code. So 2 here means that there are 2 quotations linked to this. If I click on that, you can see them. If I click on them, I can see them within the document. But by the way, my point here is that I want to create a theme. And the evaluation of these codes maybe will result to the fact that we have this code, maybe this code, and this code as a theme here. So I just call it theme 1. And this one up to here will be theme 2. And here we have theme 3. Again, this is just the technical aspect of the software. To create this, to group these codes and to create a theme, by the way, we have to read everything, all of the data that we have. But I'm just doing this very simple. I'm just demonstrating how a theme can be created in Atlas CI. So they may not actually be, they really are not actually meaningful themes, but this is how the themes are created in Atlas CI. So I have created this theme. Now let's go to the last stage, which is creating some networks. So I just close here, and so far we managed to create code. We managed to do document organization. We managed to create quotations, and we managed to create codes using different approaches. And also we created a few themes, and the themes are simply the code groups. And based on some evidence, you have to group these codes to create your themes. Now let's create a network for quotations. Very simple. If I want to create a network for a quotation, again in the home tab, I just click on new entities button, and then I click new network, and then I have to give it a name, so I just give it net1. Net1. All right. So here is the canvas for designing this network. So what I want to do is that maybe when I read these quotations, I come to know that quotation 1.1, quotation 1.3, quotation 3.2, quotation 3.3, and maybe quotation 5.2 are in some ways related to each other. So I just drag and drop them into this network. Just put them here, and you can simply link them with each other. Just click on any of these quotations, click on this red small circle, and drag and drop it on any of the quotations that you want. Let's say that quotation 3.3 is related to quotation 1.1. If I drag it, this is the amazing part of the software. It gives you a lot of options in terms of how these quotations are related to each other. Let's assume that quotation 3.3 is just criticizing quotation 1.1. Quotation 1.1 is criticized or maybe discussing quotation 3.2, and quotation 3.2 is maybe justifying quotation 1.3, and this quotation also is maybe supporting this quotation. So you can simply visualize your findings using this feature. And again, there are a lot of layouts here. You can simply select any of these layouts to generate different types of figures or networks that is suitable for you. So there are many different ones. If you want, you can select them. I just show you some of them, how they can be linked to each other. If you want also, you can click on this routing option and just change how they look. By the way, these are different options for layout and routing that you can use, and this is very important. The important thing here is that the network should be informative. Creating fancy networks is not actually recommended. You should create a network that is beautiful, at the same time informative. So even though there are a lot of options here, you can use them as I just showed to you. You can use them, but it is very important to use the most informative one. So this is a network for a quotation relationship. For a code relationship, I just again click on network, new network, and this will be network 2. And again, I can simply drag and drop a few codes here if I want. So maybe another one. All right. So I have these codes here. And again, if I want to link them, I just click on them, create these linkages. And again, you will see that there are different ways. Maybe this code is contradicting the other one. Maybe this one is a cause of the other one. Maybe this one is also associated with this one. So you can have these quotation codes here. An important feature here is that if you want, you can add the neighbors. For example, I can simply right click here, go to add neighbors, and then select quotation. And here you will see that all the quotations that have been coded with this effectiveness are displayed here, which are this one, this one, this one, and this one. But because, please pay attention, because these 4 quotations previously have been coded with some other codes here in this network, all of those linkages are also displayed. So you don't miss anything. Even though I requested for the quotations of this code and these were displayed again, you can see some other linkages because these are the other codes that have been used to code these quotations. Again, using this layout, you can create different types of networks. How it is, the important thing again is that it should be informative. So these are different versions, different type aspects of networks. If you want, you can export this as an image and then import it into your files, into your papers or thesis. All right, I think I need another maybe 5 minutes to complete this before going to relationship and comparison analysis. That one is really not more than maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So I don't know whether I can demonstrate another example, Faizan, or I just proceed with the comparison and relationship analysis.
I think we should proceed, Majid, because of the time limitations.
All right.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's just close this project. I have actually created another project for you because all the processes are exactly the same. So to save the time, I have created another project for you to demonstrate how relationship and comparison analysis is done in Atlas TI. So I just close this project, I save it. And now I just go to this comparison and relationship project. Again, you will see I have 13 documents here, 12 codes, 3 networks, 7 document groups. You all know what they are. Let's do some relationship analysis. And to do this, I just go to Analyze, and then I select code co-occurrence table. By the way, this is a table that gives you the opportunity, or gives you enables you to create a table. All of the rows will be the codes that you have already created in your project. So all of these 12 codes are listed here and can be used for the rows. And also the same codes are listed here that can be used for the columns. So I just select a few of them so that they can display in this area. So I just start with innovation, maybe these few, I just select them. And here also I select the same code. All right, I have all of them here. Now, if you look at this table that has been created, you will see that we have codes for columns, the same codes for the rows. And here you will see the number of the quotations that have been coded with these codes. For example, innovation has been used to code 46 quotations. Leadership has been used to code 78 quotations. So these are the values that I think you can simply understand. Because there are some blank columns and rows here, I just click on this compress button so that those will be deleted from the table. Now this is our table. All right. If you look at here, you will see that we have some numbers here. It is very much similar to a correlation table, by the way. And each number here shows how many times these codes co-occur. For example, if you look at here, you will see that innovation and leadership have been used 2 times to code 2 quotations. So simultaneously, they have been used 2 times. But here, innovation and management have co-occurred 44 times. It means there are 44 quotations in this project that have been coded with innovation and management. Now I ask you a question. When 2 things happen together, what does it mean? Doesn't it mean that there is a relationship between them because they happen together? So if we accept this, we can say that our result in this particular example is suggesting that because innovation and management co-occur 44 times, there is a kind of relationship between them. So in qualitative research, normally we are developing a theory, and you know that developing a theory means that you just talk about the relationship between variables. So these 2 can be variables, leadership and innovation can be variables, and based on our data, this is a kind of data-driven approach. So based on our data, they co-occur 44 times. So there is a relationship between them. So our research in this particular example suggests that there is a relationship between these 2 variables. And here, even the software generates a coefficient here, which is somehow similar to Pearson correlation coefficient. And by the way, you can see that the correlation between these 2 are quite high. And again, here you will see that, for example, for leadership and management, the relationship is even more stronger as indicated by this coefficient. So code co-occurrence table can be used to investigate whether there are relationships between codes or in fact variables in our study. And if we find any codes that co-occur, we can say that for a big number of times, it means that there is a relationship between those 2 constructs. So this is, by the way, the relationship analysis. If I click on any of the cells, I can see even the quotations that have been coded with these 2 codes. For example, leadership and innovation has been used to code these 2 quotations here. All right, now let's go to the comparison analysis. If I go to code document table here you will see that, by the way, it's a kind of cross-tabulation table. And here I have codes and code groups or the themes in this project. And I have my documents and document groups. Now let's assume that I want to make a comparison between site 1 and site 2 in terms of theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, theme 4, and theme 5. So what does it mean? Here you can look at these 2, site 1 and site 2, like a group of male and group of female. So by the way, it really looks like the independent sample t-test analysis. So I have 2 groups and I want to make comparison between them in terms of a few variables. These variables can be a theme or even can be a code. So I can make a comparison between different documents or document groups in terms of codes or code groups, or in other ways, themes. Now there is an issue here. Sometimes, let me just deselect this. We just focus on the themes in this example. You know, to do a proper comparison analysis, and even in quantitative research, we need to have somehow equal sample sizes. If you look at here, in this group, site 1, I have 134 quotations and 45 quotations in site 2. So making comparison here isn't really meaningful because the sample sizes are quite different. Atlas TI has an option here, which is the normalize option. If I click here, you will see that these values are adjusted in a way that the total values here at the bottom becomes equal. Now you can make a comparison. For example, you can see here that there is a considerable difference between site 1 and site 2 in terms of theme 2, because here you have 109 quotations, and if I click on them, you can the software display all of these 109 quotations here. And here we only have 11 quotations. So what this particular research can suggest is that if we compare site 1 and site 2, it could be two groups of people, for example, site 1 and site 2. In terms of theme 2, there is a difference between them. Now, as a qualitative researcher, this is our theory, and we can pass this theory to quantitative researchers and ask them to collect data for site 1 and site 2 in terms of theme 2, and just do a quantitative analysis to see whether they can verify this theory or not. Another example here, for example, is that in terms of theme 4, again, there is a big difference between site 1 and site 2, as these values indicate this. Okay, so it was all the things I just wanted to share with you in terms of thematic analysis, followed by relationship analysis and comparison analysis. And remember, in qualitative research, we develop theories. So normally the theories explain the relationship between variables, and in qualitative research, we call them codes or themes. And or the theories can be the comparison between groups in terms of some other constructs. And again, both of them, no matter what your theory is, whether it's a relationship theory or a comparison theory, it can be done with ATLAS-TI, and you can simply ask quantitative researchers to verify your findings. Thank you.
Thank you, Majid. Because the time is very limited, so I have had a few questions and I will ask you a couple of them. But meanwhile, I also wanted to ask you, is it okay if people have questions to email you and then you can answer them through email?
Okay. I'm very sorry. I think it was really more than 14 minutes. I really do apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was good stuff. So it's not bad. I mean, it's all learning, right? So would that be okay with you if somebody emails you and asks you?
Of course, no problem.
Okay, sure. So Majid, one question that came was about the difference between NVivo and Atlas. So what do you think are some major differences?
Actually, both of them are very strong softwares. Both of them have been widely used in research. By the way, I'm an ATLAS-TI trainer, and I normally use ATLAS-TI for my training or for my data analysis. But I can certainly tell you that both of them are amazing features. To me, as an individual, I think maybe ATLAS-TI is more user-friendly, but you cannot simply say that NVivo is not user-friendly, because that one is also very amazing. So I think making a comparison here may not be very accurate. It depends on you as a researcher, how you communicate with the software. But my advice is that for qualitative research, using a software is a must. And if you don't do that, even this demonstration shows that you really cannot do a very high quality job.
Right. Thank you very much. And then another question is, if I'm using NVivo, let's say if I'm using NVivo and now I want to move to Atlas, right? So is there any way to export the data files from NVivo to Atlas and continue?
Well, ATLAS-TI has the feature for exporting projects, but the project again is imported into another ATLAS-TI installed in another computer. But regarding this, I really have no idea. Maybe you just do a quick Google search and to see whether there is a kind of converter for a project from ATLAS-TI to NVivo or from NVivo. But actually, this is the first time I hear this question. I really have no idea. Maybe I also do a search, Google search, and just try to see whether they can be converted to each other or not. But as long as I remember, I haven't or heard even from my colleagues in ATLAS-TI, other trainers who will discuss this, that I mean, converting a file from NVivo to Atlas TI or Atlas TI to NVivo.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Majid, again for taking your time and talking to us. I'm sure that you are going to get some emails from people who are going to watch this video because it's too early here in the US right now. So, you know, and it's Monday, so people start their week and then, you know,
Yeah, true.
yes. Would you mind if you have your email address on the screen, if you can just
Of
put it
course.
on the screen?
Yes.
That way, you know, if anybody has to email you, they can do it.
Perfect. I just type it here. You.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
So it's your name, so majid.ghasemi@usm.my.
Yeah.
Very easy to remember. Once again, thank you very much. I really
Thank
appreciate
you very much, Faizan.
it. Thank you.
It was a pleasure for me. Many thanks. All the very best.